I'm Kate Johnson. I love to live in abundance. The reason is in the next slide.
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every time.
You know how they say someone is born with a silver spoon or a golden spoon or whatever spoon? I think I'll classify myself as the kind of person that was born with a silver spoon. I think on the long run the spoon fell off. So whether it's silver or gold in plastic, I did not have anyone. So welcome back to the channel. In case you've not met me before, my name is Kate Johnson. On a scale of 1 to 10, they rate me 12.5. I film about faith, lifestyle, and self-development. So if that sounds like what you'd like to hear, then stick around. So on today's ride, we're going to be talking about how to break the ice to achieve your goals. Okay, get your pen and jotter because I'm about to drop gems. Is it gems or gems? Like, I don't know which one it is, but the wisdom God has given me that I'm about to drop in this video is going to be liberating. Somebody say amen. I grew up experiencing some privileges and stuff like that, but on the long run, things did no longer go as they used to be, and I lost my dad, who was the breadwinner of the family. So things just kind of were not as great as they used to be. I've experienced abundance, I've experienced lack, and I'm just going to choose abundance every time. See, there's no benefit of being in lack. Trust me. There's no benefit of being in lack. Kate Johnson, 2024. One of the times that I experienced lack, it was around the time my father had just died. At that point, two of my sisters were already in school, and I was about getting into the university. I wrote JAMB 5 good times. I probably would share a story about that later in life. My desired school at that point was Unizik. I don't know if it still operates now. Everybody finishes secondary school and they grew up in the next school they are thinking of is Unizik, because then Unizik was not under ASU. So if there is strike or anything, they don't go on strike. So everybody was like, I want to go to Unizik. So I applied to Unizik for 2 years. I didn't get. I now said, okay, since Unizik is not giving me, let me go to UNN. I applied to UNN for another 2 years. I didn't get. So that's like 4 wasted years. So in the process of waiting, people were saying, why not go for ABSU? There's a state school, you have more chances there because you're an indigene, blah blah blah. Initially, I had that initial gragra. I don't want to go to a state school. On the long run, I decided that okay, I really don't care. By the time I write JAMB, your eye go clear. I decided that okay, state school. But for me, ABSU was expensive. At the time, the difference was like maybe UNN could be paying something like 40k in school fees, and ABSU was paying 112,000 naira. So it's like almost 3 times the cost. So in my head, ABSU was expensive, and that was the reason I did not want to go to ABSU. I remember when I was about applying for the 5th JAMB, that day my uncle came to visit us, and I just mentioned it to him. He said, which school are you applying for? I said, I don't know if I wanted to switch to uni or something. So he was like, are you okay? Like, what's up with you at all this uni? You've gone to Unizik, they didn't give you. You've gone to UNN, they didn't give you, and now you want to go to uni. What happened to ABSU? I told him, but uncle, ABSU is expensive. He was like, what do you mean by expensive? Is anyone that's not going to cost money? So why are you wasting your time instead of applying for ABSU and getting admission and the rest and the rest and the rest? God that will provide for UNN is also the same God that can provide for ABSU. It was on that word that I decided to apply for ABSU. Luckily for me, I got admission that same year. And at that point, to even start studying, you have to have like 500k, like as at 2015, and that was a lot of money. Acceptance fee alone was 50,000 naira, apart from school fees and not all those other things. That was the beginning of the breakthrough. So every other thing I did from that point henceforth was now a journey of faith. It was now God miraculously providing. And I can say that, of course, I never really lived in abundance throughout my stay in school, but I cannot also say that I ever lacked. Like, throughout my stay in school, there was never a day I was pursued because of school fees. There was never a day maybe a particular fee that I was asked to pay was the reason I didn't write the exam or I was embarrassed. No, like, there was a revelation God gave me that period when I was in school. He said with him things may not add up, but he makes them complete. Why am I sharing this story? This is not me trying to do the TMI thing. This is me trying to lay a foundation for what I'm about to talk about, which is breaking the ice to achieving your goals. There are a lot of us, we have a lot of things that we want to achieve, but we are so scared to take the first step. There's a story in the Bible about the man that was paralyzed for 38 years. The Bible says that when Jesus came there, they asked him, what do you want? And just like many of us, instead of saying, I want to be healed, he said, I don't have anybody that will throw me to the pool when the angel stares it. What they asked you, what do you want? Okay, peradventure, you don't even know that you want healing. What you want is a man. You could have just said, oh, I want a man that will throw me inside the pool once the angel stares it. But just like many of us, we when we have problems, we cloud our mind so much to the problems and actually forget to think of solutions, to think of way out. It was by God's mercy that that man got healed, because if it was by the answer he gave, he wouldn't have been healed. Just told him, arise, get up, take your mat and go. But one thing that amused me was that the Pharisees, their issue was that what? It was Sabbath day. It was a Sabbath day, and there are a lot of us that even if we are not the man himself, we are like Pharisees. We always have excuses why things should not go. We always have excuses why we should not do things. We always have 1,001 reasons why we are laid back, why we've not done this, why we've not done that. So they're saying, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. Meanwhile, we can actually still pick up our mats and go on a Sabbath day. Meanwhile, we can actually start achieving that goal. Meanwhile, we can actually start writing that book, start making that pitch, start learning that skill, start shooting that shot, start reaching out to that person. Like, we can actually do those things despite all those excuses we are giving. I read a book by Brian Tracy, No Excuses. There's one thing that book helped me overcome is not giving excuses. Does it mean I don't give excuse now? No. So now, and even when I'm giving an excuse, or like before, I was like, oh, I'll genuinely say it is because of this. That is why I did not do this, or that is why I did this. And I tell myself, there's a way out. You could have done it differently. You could have done it this way. You could have done it that way. Look at, you're still in February, so the year is far ahead. There's still a lot of time left for us in 2024. And I'm also talking to myself, right? So I want to come back to this way and watch it and also be blessed by it. So if there's that goal, if there's that achievement that you think is mysterious, is for a certain kind of person, my friend, it's time to actually break that ice and start achieving them. It's time to get up, take up your mat and go. Whether it's Sabbath or not, no more excuses. Just like me, my excuse for not wanting to apply to ABSOS, I felt like I couldn't afford it. But at the end of the day, did I afford it? Yes. So some of those things, some of the fears we have, they are in our heads. I've listed 5 ways to break the ice to achieving your goals. The first one is believe in yourself. One of the quotes I had early in life that helped to shape my belief system or identity to a large extent is, I had it from Reverend Fuka Adejumo. She said, if you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. So if you don't believe in yourself, if you think that you cannot achieve that goal, then you cannot achieve it. That's like the first step. That's thing they always say is in your mind first. It's first of all in your mind. I saw a story where one lady shared, she said when she was in Nigeria, she worked so hard, like, so she used to go to all these fancy restaurants. So she was saying, oh my God, I can never afford this kind of thing. She said one day, I think after saving for some months, I think she saved like 50K and said that there's no way that 50K cannot buy something in all those fancy restaurants. She entered the restaurant, ordered, ate. And they brought her bill, and guess what? Her bill was just 20 something K. She was like, can you imagine? So it was just 20 something K that's making me feel like people are better than me, that's making me feel like I don't belong here. Like, she was just trying to say that thing that is in your head that's making you feel like you're a poor person, you're an unworthy person, you're not deserving. You have to break the Bible of that ice. So when Moses sent out the 12 spies to go and spy on the promised land, 10 of them came back with evil reports. They were like, we're unto them like grasshoppers, and unto grasshoppers we're like unto them. I will insert this thing. How the Bible says. Initially, I used to think, oh, they just said that we were unto them like grasshoppers. It was on the long run with further understanding. And I think one of in my church, my zonal leader, while explaining it, he said, because they said they were like grasshoppers, so they were actually now like grasshoppers to those persons that they met, that's the giants they met in the promised land. So if you don't see I am, nobody will say that out. You have to learn to break out of that ice. I had to break out of that ice in my own case to be able to apply for ABSU. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, it's not for me, because I can't afford it. But at the end of the day, I afforded it again and again. And I even ended up becoming vice president, like number 2 citizen in my faculty. We dig it. The point is, like, that thing you are thinking that you are not worthy of, you're not deserving, is a pure lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. So overcome it, snap out of it, okay? The second point is break it down. And I think one very good way to break things down is writing it down. That's why the Bible says, write it down, make it plain, so that he that runs may read it. It's very good to write down something that it has a way of demystifying that stuff. Break it down into bits. You know, when the children of Israel had to march around Jericho, and God told them that they should march around the city 7 days, and on the 7th day that they should march around it 7 times. I think there was something that God wanted to do to their minds. It's not like God couldn't have told them, I stand in front of them and shout, Jericho fall. There was a mountain, there was a high place in their minds he needed to pull down. In their minds, what they saw Jericho as, Jericho is so fortified, it's such a strong city, it's such a strong tower. Nobody can penetrate, nobody can go in, and nobody can come out. So God needed to put down that high place from their minds. Imagine something you are seeing as such an edifice, and you march around it the first day, march around it the second day, third, fourth, fifth, sixth day. That's the way you were edifixing that edifice. I know that's not correct English, but the way you were marveled, the way you were in awe of that edifice. See finish, you'll enter. So see your problem finish. You understand? God did not just stop there. He made it in such a way that by the time they now got to the 7th day, God told them, march around it 7 times. Then you now shout. write down your problem, break it into bits. Like me, at that point where I got admission, I was like, okay, this absolute is even expensive. How much is it? I had to write down the fees I was supposed to pay, and now calculated the total. I was like, okay, maybe you're looking at 500 and something thousand. Okay, how do I start? Okay, I've paid acceptance fee. Okay, minus 500,000 minus 50k is 450k. So okay, now I'm trusting of 450k. That was how God kept on bringing the money bit by bit by bit. And at the end, I paid everything first semester of my first year. That thing I was thinking was so big, was so huge, was so gigantic. I paid every damn kobo in first semester within 3 months. So you have to learn how to break down your problem into bits, break down that issue, break down that goal into bits, write it down, march around it, scream at it, and you see it become your reality. Then the third one is get into action. One thing I've realized is that the universe has a way of bringing things that you're interested in. Like I think they call it law of attraction. Once you start desiring something earnestly, the universe has a way of bringing it. And if you check now, most social media platforms they do that. Once you start searching for a thing now, once they know that oh you love love, they will see that most times what they will suggest on your timeline is love. Once they're saying oh you like football, most times you see that the kind of post they will be putting out to you is football. So that's also how it works with respect to this. You have to learn how to get into action. If you want to write a book, start with the first page, start with the first chapter, start with the first everything. So get into action. And even for the paralyzed man, even though Jesus performed the miracle on his head, he still had a job to do. He didn't rise up, take your mat and go. And he refused and continued lying down there. He wouldn't have been healed. He still had a job that he had to do. So just get into action bit by bit. You find out that somehow the things you want to start aligning towards you. Okay? The fourth one in this journey of breaking the ice to achieving your goals is understand that there might be challenges. I think I really struggle with this. I always used to feel like, okay, if I've overcome that first stage and that shows God is backing me up, so since God is backing me up, there's not going to be any challenge, bruh. And that's always used to make me, whenever I face any challenge, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why is everybody against me? Why is the universe against me? Understand there will be challenges, but make up your mind that no matter what, you're never going back. The truth of the matter is that once you take the first step, you become a better version of yourself. You might take the first 10 steps and they'll be smooth, and you get to the 11th, maybe out of 30 steps, you get to the 11th, and it's now so chaotic, it's now so stressful, it's now so challenging. Don't go back. Never go back to Egypt, no matter what. Make up your mind that no matter what, you're never going to go back. Like the children of Israel that said, oh, after Cain, we want to go. When it was not time to go, they now told Moses, you would have left us, so they'll be eating cucumber and garlic, of all things to crave for. Oh my goodness. But the point is, I have an understanding that you might meet the Red Sea on the way, but be determined to cross it. The last but not the least is eyes on the prize. Like this thing is one of the things that govern me. It's a bit related to the fourth point, which says understand that there may be challenges on the way. One of the ways to pacify myself whenever I face challenges, I'll be like, oh my God, as I'm looking at this thing now, oh, so this thing is going to be mine, despite this pain that I feel. So after overcoming this pain now, I'm going to get this thing. So always use that principle whenever you're trying to achieve a goal. Always think of the crown that lies ahead. Always focus on the prize. Eyes on the prize, baby. Eyes on the prize. So with these 3 points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince and not confuse you that you should break the ice that is stopping you from achieving your goals, okay? Don't sleep on yourself. Don't sleep on your goals. You are worthy. You are enough. You are capable. You are worth it, okay? Have you enjoyed this video? What did you learn? Please drop it in the comment section. And please do have to like this video. As you are liking this video, it helps you to recommend it to other persons. And please, if you think this is useful, of course it is useful, share this video, all right? Thank you. So do have to like, comment, share, and if you've not subscribed, please, I beg in the name of God, subscribe, all right? And don't forget I'm your captain, KTB Johnson. Thank you for riding with me, and up until next time, don't forget to let your light so shine.